Okay. I'm going to show you guys a video of a YouTuber who actually went to Minnesota, not CNN, not ABC, not CBS, not Fox, none of these national TV stations can find fraud like this one YouTuber. This one YouTuber went to Minnesota and found millions of dollars of fraud. So I'm going to play an excerpt from him speaking at the Capitol and what he found.
Shirley, you're recognized for your opening statement.
Awesome. I'm here today to speak on behalf of all hardworking, law-abiding, tax-paying citizens here inside of the United States. I've helped bring to light widespread fraud that's happening inside our nation, and we the people have had enough of our hard-earned money going towards fraudsters as if it's no big deal. As I speak here, I want to ask everyone a question. How much do we trust when we pay our taxes it's going to benefit our nation? People erupted during the Boston Tea Party over just a few percentages as they believed they were being taxed without representation. Nowadays, we have the representation, but do we trust our representatives? My name is Nick Shirley, and I made a 41-minute video that I posted on platforms like X and YouTube. My video received over 100 million views, and it created instant change within our government.
Stop right there. He made a 40-minute video of him paying a couple of dollars to get on an airplane and go to Minnesota. And he got 100 million views. 100 million views. Okay? People are concerned about, his name is Nick Shirley, by the way, YouTuber. Not CNN, not Fox, not ABC, not CBS, or any other large major network. One man, one YouTuber, Nick Shirley. Shout out to Nick Shirley, man. Shout out to Nick Shirley, man. One YouTuber went to Minnesota and found fraud. You know what that tells me? They've been know it was fraud. He was the only one that had the heart to go expose it. Okay? So, but the thing I'm going to point out is 100 million views on his channel. That means 100 million people are really concerned of where their damn tax dollars are going to. Okay? 100 million people are concerned about this. Okay? I'm going to let it play a little bit more. I'm going to let him keep talking. And we're going to react to it. Because I'm just saying this for the first time.
As the federal government launched investigations and departments such as Health and Human Services froze over $185 million in child care funding until businesses can prove they are legitimate businesses. I actually became aware of the fraud that was happening in Minnesota in June of 2025 as I was there for a separate video, and Minnesotans started reaching out to me asking me if I was making a video on the fraud. I said, well, what fraud? And this lady, she was a real estate agent, and she says, well, I'm having a hard time selling my properties because people are curious about these assisted livings that are popping up next door to some of the houses that we're buying or the home health care clinics that are popping up.
Wow. Wow. So it was common there. Everybody knew it was fraud. It was common. So that means the city government knew, the state government knew, and nobody did anything about it. Nobody did anything about it. Just because it's in Minnesota, don't you for 1 minute think that it don't affect you in whatever state you live in. Because our tax dollars, which the federal government federal government sends money to states, and the states send the money to cities, and the cities, states give money to people of those particular states. So your money was actually taken also, even though you don't know, because again, you didn't learn civics in school because of the No Child Left Behind program, which you'll see in the video I just made earlier today. Okay? So let's get back to Nick Shirley. Big shout out to Nick Shirley, man. Let's get back and see what else he got to tell us.
And we don't know who's next to these houses that we're trying to sell. And I said, well, I'm not going to come and make a video if I don't have any proof. So therefore, I left Minnesota. And I continued to look for fraud in the best way I could. And as I was getting my own information, a man by the name of David reached out to me and he said, hey, I have been investigating this fraud for years now. I have been driving by these child care centers. I have never seen a single child, and I have received the information from the state of Minnesota as to how much money these places are receiving. I said, great, let me come to Minnesota and we'll make this video about potential fraud that was taking place inside of Minnesota. We go to a daycare, and I'm instantly surprised by what we see. We arrived and it was an industrialized building, and there was 2 daycares registered at that building. And the first thing I noticed is all the windows are blacked out, and there's no footprints in the snow of any children. There's no playgrounds or anything that would make it look like it's a child care daycares, and we notice the same pattern. No children, blacked out windows, and one daycare spell leering right on their sign. Governor Walz has said he's been fighting fraud in Minnesota since 2019 and said the buck stops with him. However, how long would it take Minnesota for years as billions of dollars has been misplaced? And meanwhile, while people like Governor Tim Walz call people like me a white supremacist, delusional conspiracy theorist, he actually decided to drop out of re-election because I believe of how deep and extensive this. Not a single business has been able to prove proof of legitimacy. How?
While Minnesota, in this case, the Somalis, the Somali people of Minnesota, while the Somali people of Minnesota, which were most of them here on TPS, which is temporary protective status, because they had a little warring going over there in Somalia back in the early 90s. And us being a good country as we are, we said, come on over here, man. We're going to protect you over here. But it's temporary, it ain't permanent. But they took that welcoming and they came, and this is just one of the cities they're in. They're doing it everywhere. And before I get to that, they came to Minnesota in the early 90s. And from his research, they have frauded $19 billion in fraud. $19 billion in fraud. Why you good old Americans over here mad because you ain't get your food stamps last month. While the Somalians is right on your nose, looking down at you, looking down their nose at you, and taking your money. And now you got these dumbass white apologists and the white liberal woman out on the streets trying to stop ICE from taking the Somalians, illegal immigrants, and getting them out of the country. Backwards. But I'm going to keep going on. I'm willing to bet not just the Somalis are doing it. If they doing it, if the Somalis are doing it, committing all this fraud, if the Somalis have gotten $19 billion, the TSA guy from the airport, when I go to the airport, I can't carry more than $10,000. I don't carry more than $10,000. Okay, cash. Because you have to report it. I ain't trying to go through all that junk. But these Somalians have been bringing, the guy said, no less than $750,000 through the airport, taking it back to Somalia. 1.5 million, $1 million at a time in cash. Can you believe this? Walking through the airport. Let a regular American try that shit. Let a regular American try that shit at any airport. But they let these Somalians, and it's a bunch of foreigners that are fraudulently taking taxpayers' our money and funding their countries. And you guys are sitting here protecting them because you are slow, you don't know what's going on in your own country, and you're stupid. I'm not gonna listen. This is a channel. This channel right here, we don't beat around the bush. We're gonna tell you straight up who you are, what you are. We're not gonna bite our tongue. You're stupid. You white apologists, you white liberal women, and some of you dumbass black people are really upset that you talking about, oh, the black and brown people, mother, stop it. Stop it. If you know anything about somebody from other country that got this complexion, they don't want to be associated with black. But you keep trying to bring them in. You keep trying to act like you the same. Just because you get the same skin complexion, that don't make you the damn same. I'm American. I ain't got nothing in common with a Somalian. Nothing. Nothing. We don't worship the same God. We don't eat the same food. We don't think alike. We don't act alike. Nothing. Not only in Somalia, any African country, or any South American country, or any other country. Culturally, I got more in common with my fellow white American than any other person in the world. We've been around white people our whole life. It's the foreigners that come over here and look down their nose at you. Think about it, dummy. Think about it. I got more in common with Americans. If you up north, you got more in common with Puerto Ricans. Because they've been here your whole life. You ain't got nothing in common with a motherfucker from Umbo Tungo. What you got in common with them? Nothing. You don't eat the same. You don't smell the same. You don't look the same. Nothing you do. This because you got the same. The only thing you got remotely close is complexion of skin. And if you got any knowledge, you should understand now that complexion of skin doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean anything. So, again, hey, Nick Shirley, shout out to you, man. Keep finding this fraud so we can lower our tax dollars. You know, keep finding fraud so we can, and we need to start exposing these politicians that know what's going on, but keep defrauding honest tax-paying American citizens. Because I don't care what you are, I'm an American citizen. I don't give a damn about no Africa. I don't care nothing about none of that. I ain't got nothing against them, but I'm not from Africa. And I ain't trying to be from Africa. I'm from America. My mother, my father, my grandmother, my grandfather on both sides, they never said it was nowhere but from America. Nobody never mentioned Africa, not one person. So, again, shout out to Nick Shirley, man. Keep up the good work. I'm getting ready to subscribe to your channel too, man. Subscribe. If you got something against what I say or if you like what I said, comment in the chat. I'm here. You can email me at charlesharris045@gmail.com. I'm here for the conversation. Until next time, common sense matters. Fuck Black Life Matters. Or fuck Black Life Matters. What matters, common sense matters. Peace.